Hi, my name is Heather, and welcome to another episode of Cover to Cover Canva Edition, my series where I share my process with you creating a children's book using Canva elements. I'll include my copyright reminder here. And remember, this isn't a tutorial, it's just to share my process with you. So if you want more of a step-by-step tutorial, check out the videos that I'll link in the description. And of course, feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I have the project pulled up here, and these are the 2 pages we did last week. And for the next page, it has Tauntaun blinked lazily at Titan and asked what's up. And then Titan said, "Have you seen my squeaky monkey?" So looking at this now, I realize that the design from last week wouldn't actually make sense because in the picture, he's asking about the monkey, and it actually has that in the little word bubble. It has the monkey there. But then the next page is actually where he asks it. So I think we're going to need to just kind of move stuff around a little bit. In the page that we did last time, I think we're going to need to move that down to where he's actually talking to Tauntaun the cat. And then the page up here, it just says that he visited Tauntaun, the mischievous cat next door. So in this one, I'm thinking that we just have him going up to the house. So he's visiting her, but they haven't talked yet. So maybe we can have him coming up to her house and maybe like a little doggy door, cat door thing. And she's like peeking out, and then they're just looking at each other. And the next page where he actually asks her, since we have 2 separate sentences here where Tauntaun says something and then Titan says something, I think I want to make that into a spread so that we can have Tauntaun on one side and Titan on the other side. I think that would be pretty cool. Let's take the design from last week, and I'm going to do cut, Command X. And then I'm going to come down here and I'll just paste it, and then we can set all that up later. The first thing is that I want like a little doggy door. So let's see if we can find that. This one could definitely do in a pinch, like if we can't find anything else good. I do want it to be open enough that you can see her little head peeking out. We may need to just kind of make the shape from scratch. And actually, what if we just have it more of like a rectangle instead of a flap? And then that might actually be easier to replicate. I'm going to go into the actual shapes here, and I'm going to grab the parallelogram. I'm just going to stretch this and resize it until it's how I want it to be. Let's grab the kitty cat, and let's see if we have other versions of this cat. I'm going to search for white cat. So this is the same cat. Let's see what other versions of this cat there are. I can do view collection. This is the only one that like kind of makes sense. We just need the exterior of the house, maybe a brick wall. I think we could use this, so let me just duplicate it, and that way it goes all the way across. And now I'm just going to crop the kitty cat so that it'll look like she's underneath. Oh, and notice that I'm not able to crop it. So when that happens, it's usually because you've flipped it. So actually, if I flip it back, then go to crop, now I can crop it. But then I have to crop it this way and then flip it back. And then we just need this to look like an opening. So if I put some kind of rectangle in the back so that it's not brick there, then that should take care of that. So this is going to be the interior of the house. Let's make it some other color. I do just want to add maybe like some trim around here because it looks very unfinished. I'll move this up so that she's actually on the ground here. And let's go ahead and drop Titan in. I do feel like we need a version of Titan with his head down so he can be like peeking down at her. And I'm wondering if we can do this in Canva. So if I were to crop his head, if I can just make it so that it's kind of down this way. So I might be able to do that if I just can get rid of his head on this one, which I can't really, because if I try to crop off his head, it's going to get his feet as well. But we should be able to go to Magic Eraser and erase his head this way. Let's see if we can make this work somehow. I think that works, except that we just need to take a little bit more off down here. So I'm just going to go like this, and then I'll just add some of those little fur spikies back in with some triangles. I can round it a little bit too. It does look a little bit weird up here. It looks choppy because that's where I erased it. I'm going to search for a curve for that. And let's try to find an almost straight line, but just slightly curved. This looks good. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I just need to fill in this little spot right here. I'll just grab another triangle to do that. I think I just want a little bit more of his body here now that I'm looking at it. I'm just going to put another triangle down there. I think that works. I just want to cover up these little extra specks here from where I had cropped it right there. Let me go ahead and just group all of that so that I don't mess it up. Now we just need to add some little details to kind of make it look a little more realistic and more finished. So let's add some kind of ground here. It could maybe look like a front porch. So maybe like wood. This might be good. I think I might want to make it a lighter color though, since the house is kind of a light color. I do want to add a little more to the little doggy door here. I want to add some thickness to it. So all I'm going to need for that is a line. So I'm going to take this and rotate it. And I'm just going to put it here. And then I'll just make the color the same color, but then a little bit darker. And now it actually looks like it has some thickness. Let's put one in the front as well. And I'm also going to round the end points, so that way it'll look better at this corner here. And I'm going to do the same thing to the frame around the door. I think I still don't really love this wood floor. Let me see if I can switch it out with something else. I think I like this one better, but let me know what you think in the comments. It definitely needs something else to make it more interesting. I'm thinking like at least a potted plant or something. I don't really want to put the potted plant here because I feel like then Titan won't stand out as much against that white background. So maybe I'll move them over and then have like a potted plant over here. I think these are really cute. And they definitely add some color to the scene. Maybe we can also add part of the front door here, because then that'll make it really obvious that it's outside. Because I just feel like it's not super obvious that it's outside. I think I like this door, and if I can make it teal to kind of go with the little doggy door here, then that would be perfect. So I'm going to do the blue one, and then I'll click these controls, and then let's change this to be teal. We could also go one step further and add a little welcome mat. This could probably work. At least I can change the colors. Also, I think we should just put this in like a little frame here, since we have a full page scene right before it. So I'm going to go to my frames that I uploaded and pick one of those. I'm going to make this brick wall here just a little bit darker, so that way it'll stand out against the white frame. So I'll just see if there's a filter I can use. And then let's just add some of our shadows. We'll give Titan a shadow here. Let's just lower the opacity a bit. And I'll put one under Tauntaun. Hers is going to be a little bit harder of a shadow because she's closer to the ground, so not as soft of edges. That's why I'm making the shadow smaller, because then it'll be harder edges. And I'm putting it really close to her. because we don't want her to look like she's floating off the ground. And then we can also add a shadow for the flower pot. Let's add a little shadow coming over Tauntaun. I think we're going to need like a parallelogram shadow. It is going to have to be underneath the brick wall, but Tauntaun is in front of the brick wall because we need her head to be in front of it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the brick wall and I'm just going to crop it so it's only going to cover the shadow. I think this scene is now done, and we can go ahead and split this up into 2 scenes. So the first one is where Tauntaun blinks at Titan, and then the second one will be Titan talking. And for this one, we can actually grab the same scene, but we'll have Tauntaun out because she came out of the doggy door. Now we just need to make the scene continue. So I'm going to add the brick wall down here and the floor. This floor isn't actually wide enough to cover the whole thing. So what I'm going to do to make it continue more easily is I'm just going to flip it. And that way the lines are going to line up because they're going to be kind of like a mirror image. But I don't think it'll be super noticeable because we'll have the animals there and we'll have a lot of stuff like in the front. And then I'm just going to make the door continue. So to do that, I'm just going to duplicate it and have it in the exact same spot. And then I'll just crop the left half out. And then I'm going to do cut and paste. And then I'm just going to pull this over to the left. And now they should line up, and I'm going to do the same thing with the rug. So I'm going to duplicate it, put it in the exact same spot, and then crop the left part out. And then I'll do cut and paste and bring it over. Oh, but it's actually not long enough. All right, I'm going to take Tauntaun out of that one. Let's flip him, and that way they're talking to each other. We do need to make this easier to read, so let's put a little rectangle box behind it. So I'm just going to grab a rectangle and we can make it white, and we could lower the transparency a bit so you can still see some of the background behind it. And then I'll do the same thing with the rectangle. Now we can just add our shadows and then we should be good. I think that looks good. Let's go ahead and preview it in Simplebooklet so we can see our spread and see how it came out. Here's the one page that we did last time in the backyard, and then this new page here where she's peeking out. Oh, I do think that we could use a little bit of extra space between the picture here and the text. So I'll just shift that down a little bit off camera. But other than that, I think it's really cute. And here's our spread. I think that looks really nice. I'm very happy with it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is there anything you would have done differently? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching this video and following along with this project. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And as always, you can email me at heather@heathercash.com. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.